Good day to you. Do you mind taking a walk with me? Yeah, I'm walking to East Stroudsburg University, which is pretty close to my house. Bringing my wife a bag of fruit. She works at ESU. She advises undeclared students. She's a professor in the Department of Academic Enrichment and Learning. Some of you may already know her if you're an undeclared student. At any rate, it's a beautiful day here. I'm walking along here past a house that many of you will know if you go to ESU. It's the Sig Pi house, right over there. Yep. My next door neighbors. And what I want to do is ask you as we start this little walk here, what's your day going to be like when it comes to social media use? You know, there's some pretty alarming statistics out now. One was by Digital Media Trends, and it talks about how people, young people, especially millennials and yourselves, are checking media once per hour minimum. Once per hour. Now, I even think that is on the low side. I think people are checking their social media, their phones, a lot more than once per hour. But even just considering once per hour, it means that it's on your mind. It means that you're thinking about, gee, I'm in a meeting now. I haven't been able to see if I got a text back from my friend. I haven't been able to see if somebody's responded to my Instagram. And that's one statistic that's a little bit alarming. Another one is that young people are spending up to 11 hours a day on media. When I say young people, again, I mean millennials, people generally speaking 18 to 24 and even younger, but that's the solid block, 18 to 24. Yeah, can you believe that? 11 hours a day. That is more hours than you spend sleeping, for sure, some of you. It's more hours than you spend driving. It's more hours than you spend in classes. It's more hours than you spend with people, probably, even though you are spending time with people on social media, though it's not the same thing. So that's pretty amazing. And of that 11 hours, because some of that is TV watching and radio listening, about 6.5 hours is spent purely on handheld devices, laptops, tablets, and cell phones. So in this last video instructor lecture, we're talking about stuff that I'd like to raise because we're out of chapters in the book, number one, and also I want it to serve as the concluding video lecture for the class. And I want to talk about 4 areas in which social media use is affecting us that have not been talked about in the book. And I'm talking about the whole package. I'm talking about holding a phone like I am now and taking a walk and not seeing, oh, this tree right here. This tree right here. I might have missed that. What's so great about it? I don't know. You got to take a look at it to study it. Well, for one, I'm trying to see if it's the Pennsylvania state tree, which is the hemlock tree, and it's not. But it's an evergreen. And it keeps the place green during the winter when it's otherwise pretty bleak out here. So that's one thing you may not notice because you've got a phone in your hand. So here's the first area. The first area is our physicality. That's how our bodies are affected by social media. Think about how often you're slouching. When you're using your phone, what's your position? You laying on your bed? You sitting hunched on the couch? Are you sitting hunched over a table? Are you craning your neck downwards to hide the fact that you're looking at your phone because it's under your desk? Same with your laptop, because we have to talk about the laptop as well, and tablets, because a lot of people access social media on their laptop and tablets. And on those, what's your posture? I mean, ideally, the computer is supposed to be at eye height on a desk in front of you, and your hands are supposed to be about chest height, not lap height. And you're certainly not supposed to be bending your neck over, and your back is supposed to have an arch in it. I know all this because I had back surgery, and I have to say, to what extent did I have to have back surgery a year and a half ago because of social media use or any media use as part of my occupation? So physicality is one area I want you to think about. Another area is in the financial area. Think about what an impact your social media use has had on the money that you've spent, which has had an impact on the jobs and the hours that you've had to work, which has had an impact on the other things that you've had to sacrifice in order to pay that $700 for a phone if you bought it outright, or the $22.50 that you pay every single week because you're essentially renting that phone from a cell phone company, or the $300 or $200 or $100 cable / phone / internet service bill that you have to have in order to use the phone and your laptop and your tablet up to its full potential. Think about the costs, the enormous costs. And then when you break something, and the deductibles you have to pay, or the shattered glass that you have to replace, or the chargers that you have to purchase again. Think about this, and then think about the extra things that you pay for, like Spotify, because you want to have a full range of access to other stuff that happens to cost you money. So there we have the whole idea of the financial burden of social media. The next area I'd like to talk about is accessorizing. Accessorizing. You know, I went to Philadelphia yesterday, and I went to the History Museum, and one thing that was standing out to me in the photographs I was looking at was the clothes that people were wearing. Even so-called poor people working in factories in the streets were wearing ties and sweaters and long pants and caps. And then I think about the stuff that people are wearing today, like me. I'm walking to class in a Warriors, I don't know what this material is, but I know it's pretty new, the last 10 years or so. It's like a Velcro stretchy thing. Those kind of clothes were not available in Philadelphia in the 1700s. So what does this have to do with accessories related to cell phone use? Well, now think about the way that pockets are designed on your clothes. Think about the way that purses are designed. Think about the way that shirt sleeves are designed. Think about the kinds of logos that are appearing on clothes. Think about everything that you can think of that is designed to make it easier to use cell phones. Even my golf bag has a pocket for a cell phone today. So cell phones and laptops are changing the stuff that we wear and the accessories that we put on. You know, flash drives on key rings. Key rings with the ability to I lost that thought. But you get my idea. Accessories and clothes, pretty profound. The clothes can change as a result of technology, and in this case, social media. The last area I want to talk about, by the way, walking past the Alumni Center. I don't know if you know this. It's the Alumni Center at ESU. Hopefully you'll decide to belong when you graduate. Keep this campus going in the direction it's going, which, by the way, one of the reasons that I'm walking this way and not cutting through campus is because there's a brand new dorm going up. If you haven't been there this year, this summer, they've started, it's the third or fourth brand new dorm, and it's just really nice to see your own university advancing, you know, coming along, showing signs of growth. At any rate, back to this final area that I want to talk about. It has to do with human relations and communication. I mean, think about the amount of friends you have that just wouldn't have been possible without social media. I mean, you've got friends that you have not seen in person for years. They are high school friends. Now, that may not be a big statement for you guys because most of you are not that far out of high school, but I can tell you, somebody like me, 54 years old, I'm in touch with 2 or 3 people, maybe more, I guess it's got to be more, just on Facebook alone that I have not seen since high school. And that just wouldn't have been possible in the old days unless I would have written them all letters or seen them at a reunion, or them me, etc. But because of social media, specifically Facebook, and to some extent the other social media doing this as well, we have relations with all kinds of people that have just either barely touched our lives, when you consider the grand scheme of it. I mean, 4 years of high school is barely touching your life, really, when you live to 80 or whatever. And also people who we don't even know, friends of friends, you know, that degree of separation that we studied a few days ago. Think about that. That also has to do with how many people we have in our lives that we consider ourselves to have social relations with that we don't really have a regular physical connection with. And then branching off of that is the whole way that people conduct their relationships. There are people who have textual relationships. Just think about that. Or texting relationships. They have their relationship by texting each other. They don't meet, they don't talk. Yeah, for real. They basically just text. Other people have similar relationships on Skype. And even the way that people meet each other today, or can meet each other, can be entirely through social media. Now, I'm not saying that's bad or wrong. I mean, most people would say that it's better to meet somebody online, knowing something about their interests, than to try and pick up somebody in a bar and meet them that way. Although some people would say it doesn't really matter. It's just how you meet a person and whether the right they're the right person for you. But in the online world, it's much safer. But is it really? Because of phishing, right? And catfishing especially. Phishing is, with a PH, is people trying to steal money. And catfishing is people who are presenting themselves as someone other than they really are on the internet. Either their name, their height, their age, the way they look, how many marriages they've had, whatever. That's what catfishing is. And it's easy to do. Now, would you have noticed that armored truck, as loud as it was, driving through the middle of a college campus, if you were here walking today, going to class? Or would you be texting your roommate, asking them when they're going to be home? Or would you be looking up online something to do with your bank account? Would you have missed the spectacle of an armored truck driving through campus? Probably went to the ATM machine on campus, that would be my guess, with that big diesel engine. It's just one tiny example of social media and the way it has, I'm starting to say, imposed itself on our lives, but really we are the ones who are imposing it on our lives. Many of my columns in Rounding Some Corners deal with this question. Social media use. You can find one where I talk about social media hopping. It's kind of like a way of partying, but we're only on social media. We're not leaving our houses. We're going from Tumblr to Instagram to Twitter, wherever. It's kind of taking the place of us socializing. So I just use that as a way to end this final video lecture, to say that if you're interested in more ideas about social media use, which is presumably why you took this class, I hope you continue on reading the columns and Rounding Some Corners. And as I finish here with this dormitory being constructed in the background over there, I just want to thank you all for a wonderful class this summer. I wish you the best. I look forward to reading your papers. And if you have any questions about the Department of Communication, I'm more than happy to help you as the chairperson. Please schedule an appointment with Marina, the secretary. I'm on the 3rd floor of Monroe. And other than that, have a fantastic, best rest of the summer. Adios.